Alright guys, just a few more exponent rules. Now notice here we do have something being raised to the power, but notice we have two things being multiplied and then that whole thing is being raised to power. If we have something like this, so we have a product to a power is what kind of the technical term is, but x times y all being raised to the power, we can actually just take that power and apply it to both the x and the y. So for instance, this would become x to the third power, y to the third power. And one way to think about this is x to the first, y to the first, and so we're just going to multiply that 3 times the exponents here. So again, we just did x to the third power, y to the third power. Now we're going to do the same thing here, but notice I already have some exponents here, and so what you have to do is, instead of just applying the 3 there, we have to multiply the 3 times the exponents. Now here's where people mess up. People tend to say, well, I'm going to do 3 times 2 here, because we do need to apply that 3 to the 2 here, but we're not doing 2 times 3. We're multiplying the 3 times the exponent of the 2, which in this case is 1, so it'd be 3 times 1. So this would end up being 2 to the third power, x to the 6th power, and again I got 6 because I did 2 times 3, so x to the 6th power, and then y to the 9th power. And again I got the 9 from doing 3 times 3. So again, we're still doing that power to a power rule, we're just doing it for each one of these. And again, make sure that when you have a number, whatever that exponent is, which usually when it's given to you is 1, just multiply that 1 times the 3. And we can simplify this because we know 2 to the third power is 8. And sorry for the bad handwriting. X to the 6th, y to the 9th. Okay, so again, we can simplify that. So again, the basic rule is if we're multiplying something and raising it to a power, that power can be applied to each thing inside the parentheses. Alright, so same thing is going to be true when we're dividing. So here we have x divided by y, all raised to the second power. So we can really just apply that 2 to both the x and the y. So that just becomes x squared over y squared. And again, the same power to a power rule applies. This is x to the first, y to the first. So really we do 2 times 1, which is 2, and 2 times 1, which is 2 here. So coming over here, we're going to do the same thing. Here we have x to the third to the 4th power. So again, we're going to multiply the 3 times the 4 and get 12. And we're going to do the same thing here. Again, it's not 2 times 4, it's 2 to the first. So the 1 times the 4 would be 2 to the 4th. And then 2 times the 4, which would be y to the 8th. And then we can, of course, simplify this. We know 2 to the 4th. Well, let me write my x to the 12th. 2 to the 4th power is 16. And then we can just bring the y to the 8th. Okay, so just to recap, when we're multiplying to a power, that power can be distributed to, I say distributed, that's kind of technically a wrong term, but I use it because most students understand what I mean by that, to each one of these, so x to the third, y to the third, and the same thing is true when we divide, so that exponent can be brought to both the x and the y. Okay, so again, hope this helps. See you next time.